Why are millennials so detached from the politics of America? Maybe they have no idea what's in our Constitution and how this government is supposed to work. Well, if you have no idea, gather around the campfire. I'm going to tell you. Let's make this simple. If you are able to vote, you probably live in a town or a city. They have their own local governments and their own town charters or constitutions. That town or city is located in a county. Counties also have elected governments and a county charter or constitution with their own county laws, which you can look up in 2 seconds on the internet. If you are not sure what county you live in, please do all of us a favor. If you don't know where the hell you live, probably shouldn't be voting. Try something easier, like sleeping. Now, where was I? Your county is located in a state. Each state has a Republican form of government. Not a Republican form of government like Republican Party. Republican form of government as in a republic. Your state was meant to function like a little tiny country. Keep in mind the levels of government when you tackle any political issue. People tend to get very confused by local laws, federal laws, state laws. There is a difference, a big difference.
Theoretically, the local elections are the only ones that people should care about. That was the founders' intent. They wanted to have a central federal government that would do very few things and ideally do them well, provide for a common defense, basically protect our rights as individuals. But then most governance, most taxation, most legislative activity was supposed to be local. So in a perfect world, that's where individuals would have their minds focused. In that sense, they could choose their bliss. If they want a lot of political activity, if they want a lot of legislation, they can live in a place where that takes place. If they want very small government, they can choose that. The problem, the way it exists right now, is that we're somewhat prisoners of a very large and intrusive national government, which turns the founders' intent on its head.
Federal government is made up of 3 separate branches. Each branch has certain powers. The highest court in the land, the judicial branch, you don't elect these folks. You don't need Lena Dunham skipping around and screeching for her favorite Supreme Court justice, or Ashton Kutcher taking some sort of weird pledge for Elena Kagan. Would ya? People know what that means, right? The legislative branch is both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Each state has 2 senators you can vote for. You weren't supposed to directly vote for senators. They used to be appointed by their home state legislators, but that all changed with the 17th Amendment in 1913. The House of Representatives is made up of 435 members. They are the federally elected politicians that are the closest to the people. It was meant to be a part-time job, so they could go home often and talk with their constituents. But if you leave Washington, you might miss something. So most representatives live in D.C. for long periods of time and just come home to kiss ass and raise money. The executive branch is the president, commander-in-chief of the U.S. military, and a person who signs a bill into law or vetoes it and sends it back to the legislators. Presidents might seem all-powerful, but they are not emperors. The powers of the president are located in Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. In times of political gridlock, supporters will demand more power in the hands of the president. Gwyneth Paltrow even said, "It would be wonderful if we were able to give this man all the power he needs to accomplish the things he needs to do," forgetting that the next president is going to have all the power to do the things they need to do. But past presidents have shown that the office is already extremely powerful. FDR, through Executive Order 9066, rounded up German, Italian, and Japanese Americans and interned them in camps. Reagan used Executive Order 12333 that gave the A-OK for the NSA to spy and collect info on anyone they want. If you want to learn more about this, ask Edward Snowden, if Vladimir Putin lets you talk to him. And Nobel Peace Prize winner President Barack Obama killed a handful of U.S. citizens overseas engaging in terrorist activities against the United States. Sure, those people deserved it, but legally, they didn't have a trial. He just kind of blew them to pieces on the ground. Post-2014 midterms, the Republicans now control the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, meaning any bill the Republican Congress passes can be vetoed by the Democratic president. If you thought gridlock was bad for the past few years, you ain't seen nothing yet. If the president wants to create law, he must go through the Congress, unless he plans on overstepping the powers vested in him by the U.S. Constitution. Handing power to a strongman during times of political stalemate? It's been done. Go read F.A. Hayek's The Road to Serfdom. It explains the whole concept. Or since you're all juiced up on Ritalin and can't read a book, watch the 5-minute cartoon version on YouTube. How big or small you want the government to be is up to you. The bigger it is, the slower it moves. Our founding fathers structured America that way on purpose. We have states for a reason. They didn't want bureaucrats in New York City making rules for people in South Carolina, and vice versa. So don't think about problem solving in the voting booth on such a large, massive scale. Think about it as minding your own business when it comes to making the rules. Unless you're picking a president, you are voting for representatives that represent you, not other people.